Okay, now that we're good at balancing chemical equations and recognizing the types of chemical equations, it's time to predict the products. And I have three examples here. So number one, I have copper plus silver nitrate as my reactants. And we should be able to look at these reactants and figure out what the possible products are. And the first step to do that is to recognize what type of reaction this is. Well, you have an element by itself and then a compound, so you would recognize this as a single replacement. And since it's a single replacement, you know that the copper is going to replace the silver, and the silver is going to go off by itself. Therefore, your products are going to be silver by itself plus copper nitrate. Okay, now when you do this, you've got to pay attention to the charges. In this case, silver had a positive 1 charge, and we know that because nitrate is NO3 with a negative 1 charge. But copper normally has a positive 2 charge, so copper nitrate looks like this. You have to put that subscript there. It's copper, it's CuNO3 too. And then you'll have to do some balancing here. So it looks like we've got to put 2 in front of the silver nitrate and a 2 in front of the silver to balance that. Okay, now on this next one, we have H2SO4 plus NaOH. And you would look at this and you would say, okay, there's 2 compounds here. This looks to me like a double replacement. And what's going to happen is the hydrogen is going to replace the sodium, and the sodium is going to replace the hydrogen. Now when that happens, you have this hydrogen going with this OH, and hydrogen plus OH is going to be H2O. And then the sodium goes with the SO4, so we have sodium sulfate over here. Now remember that sulfate has a negative 2 charge, so this is going to be Na2SO4. All right, and we'll have to do some balancing by putting a 2 here, and it looks like a 2 here. Okay, so we saw we looked at the reactants, we saw that it was a double replacement, and we predicted the products. Now this third one here, you have a molecule with carbon and hydrogen in it, and oxygen, and you would look at that and you would think combustion. And right away, when you think combustion, you know the reactants are CO2 and H2O. This is okay. Now, combustions are pretty easy to balance. Because this is C2, I've got to put a 2 here to balance out the carbons. Because this is H6, I've got to put a 3 in front of the H2O to give that 6 hydrogens on the other side. And then I just balance the hydrogens. So I've got 3 hydrogens here plus 4 more hydrogens here. So I'm going to put a 3.5 in front of the O2, because 3.5 times 2 is 7. 7 oxygens in the reactants, 7 oxygens in the products.